Just wanted to mention again that everything you see in this lecture here, you're going to learn how to set up on a non-WordPress site at the end of this video. There's also an explanation in Lecture 6, as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the course. Remember, you don't need a WordPress site to do anything in these first two sections. I have alternatives listed in Lecture 6, and then also at the end or right after the videos explaining how to do it on a WordPress site. And of course, you can always reach out to me in the forum or shoot me a private message, and I'll walk you through exactly how to set it up on your particular content management system, or if you're coding your site yourself. I'm going to walk you through how to set up a plugin called the W3 Total Cache plugin. And what caching is a little bit like cookies. So when you visit a website, sometimes the website will put cookies onto your computer so that the next time you come there, they remember your preferences and where you visited and things about you. What caching does is it puts things on your computer, but not really to remember your preferences. It's more to make the page load faster. There's different types of caching. There's browser caching, page caching, and object caching, for example. Objects in the technology world are anything like videos or audios or images. Object caching would save some of those audios and videos onto your browser or your computer so that you wouldn't have to load them all over again next time. Browser caching and page caching are very similar, and you can almost think of like page caching as kind of like the design and the layout of the page, and it's going to save that onto your computer just like it did with the object caching so that it doesn't have to load all of the page again. And browser caching is very similar. It's going to save the code from the page and also some more of the layout features of the page. So let's go ahead and take a look at the W3 Total Cache plugin. Here we have our WordPress dashboard. You guys have already installed a number of different plugins so far, so you already know the process. I'm just going to save us some time. I've already installed it. Now I want to show you here something called gtmetrics.com, and this is a great site for checking out whether there's any problems on your site. So the first grade or score you get is from Google, and the second one is from Yahoo. So this is decent scores already, but as you can see at the bottom it says leverage browser caching. I have an F there, 27%. And then if you click on why slow, add expires headers is basically the same thing as leverage browser caching, as we talked about in the intro. So we're going to see how to fix those problems with this plugin. And these are pretty common problems. So in your plugin list, you click on settings. And the top option here, general, if you were to click on that, it would check all of them off, but we only want to enable certain ones. So we're going to click page cache. Enable that one. We're going to check object cache and then browser cache, as we mentioned before. And then you just click save all settings. And over on the left, you'll see each of the things that you've enabled. So then we're going to go over to browser cache. And the top one will be checked off for you already, but as you can see, the second option, set expires header. That's what we were talking about with Yahoo. And we're going to click off the top 6 here. Click save all settings. So I want to go back to GTmetrix again here and retest the page. So we have an 83 and a 75 right now, and we have big problems with the browser caching and expires header. So let's see what this plugin did to those scores. 85 and 82. Decent improvement. And as you can see, the browser caching that used to have a fail grade at the top of the list here is now an A. We have like 90%. Now if you're using Joomla, which is the second most popular content management system or CMS behind WordPress, you can use this free extension called Jot Cache, and this will give you the same functionality as W3 Total Cache did. And then if you're using Drupal, which is number 3 among CMSs, They already have caching enabled by default, so you don't have to do anything if you're using them. And then finally, for any type of website or other CMS, you can install this piece of code into your htaccess file, and you can find that in the cPanel of your website. Now, if you're not comfortable enough putting code into your site because you really don't want to mess anything up in the htaccess file, because that can cause some problems. So give this piece of code to a friend who knows what he's doing, or your developer, and have them install it onto your site. But what I would first do before that is just Google the name of your CMS platform, so say Blogger or Weebly or Joomla, for example, followed by the word caching, and then just see if they already have it enabled by default like Drupal did, because you might not have to insert any code onto your site.